So why have a magic band? What's the purpose of a magic band? How do I get magic bands, and are they worth it for your trip? We're going to talk about all of that and more in this video. Thanks for watching. All right, let's get into magic bands at Disney World resorts. Magic bands have been around for quite some time, and they have evolved a lot over the last few years as well. So if you'd been to Disney World as a kid or maybe 10, 15 years ago, you probably had some sort of plastic magic band that you wore. You got it with your resort stay. At one point, they were complimentary with your stay, and that was how you entered your room, for example, at the property that you're staying at, if you're staying on Disney property. And there's other things that you could do with them. They're pretty basic, kind of like your way to get into your room, your way to get into your resort areas, things like the pool. And over time, Disney has done a lot to kind of evolve this system and make them even more interactive, even more fun, and honestly, they can do a ton for you on your trip. So for me, with our family, it's myself, my husband, and I have two little kids. One is 7 and one is almost 5. And so for us, I love having the magic bands. There's a few different reasons why. One, my kids want everything that we have. They're at that point where if we're able to scan into a ride with our wrist, they want to do the same, so they've got their magic bands for that reason. But it's also just super convenient. Instead of having to kind of figure out where your phone is all the time or have it in your hand, you can scan into your lightning lanes with magic bands. You can get into your room with the magic band. You can order food and merch and pay for it with your magic band. There's a lot of things you can do. So for me, it's just one more thing to have that's just kind of like a one-stop shop for my trip, and it's on me. It's not something that I have to go find or dig around in the bag for, or if we're pushing the double stroller, like who has the thing, none of that. So for me, the magic band is super convenient. I think that it's also a lot of fun. And on our last trip in December, my kids ended up discovering a whole new world of magic band options because for the first time they had the Magic Band Plus. So over the last couple of years, Disney has been introducing the Magic Band Plus, which is actually a rechargeable band. The old ones were kind of, you didn't have to charge them. They just went on and you could keep them with you, and they worked for years and years and years. These are also going to work for a long time for you. You can use them for multiple trips, multiple years. I've already used mine multiple years now. But the Magic Band Plus is something that you'll want to charge at night in your room. And it's just a really cool, fun, interactive tool now. It's not just a convenience tool, it's also an interactive tool. So let me first start by showing you, how do you get a magic band? If you are staying on a resort property at Walt Disney World, you are able to use My Disney Experience app, which I always have a lot of videos on, and we talk about why it's important to be able to use all of the parts to that. But to get your magic bands, they are not included in your resort stay. There are things you have to purchase in addition to your stay. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to navigate to your My Disney Experience app, and I'll kind of walk you through the steps here. So as you navigate through, you're going to see your My Disney Experience app. You're going to click that little hamburger button on the bottom right corner, and you're going to shift over to where it says My Resort. Future plans, My Resort. That's kind of where you're always going to go to find your check-in information, things about your upcoming stay. And as you go there, you'll scroll down a little bit further under your resort details, and you'll see a little button that says My Magic Bands. And if you click on that button, you'll be able to, for every person who's attached to your resort reservation, you can click and purchase a magic band for them. Now, as of right now, as of today, this is January of 2025, the only option to purchase will be the Magic Band Plus. If you have an old magic band, it's still going to work for you for a while. There's a few features that are starting to kind of phase out with them, but you can't purchase new basic magic bands. Those are a thing of the past. We're moving on, and we're now in the Magic Band Plus world. So if you go ahead and click there, you'll be able to pull up into your My Disney account, and you'll have to sign in with your password and everything. And once you do that, you're gonna see all of the options that are available to you to purchase. You'll see you'll get a slight discount for purchasing them this way. So this is one of the perks, right? You stay on property, you know you're gonna get a magic band for your purchase or for your stay. You get a little bit of a discount if you purchase them this way. Now, you can also find Magic Band Pluses on the Disney Store website, and you can buy them there. You're going to pay a little bit more, so I always recommend, like, if you have an upcoming stay, just do it through here. You can assign them right there to each one of your guests that you're purchasing for, and what's going to happen is when they mail them to you, it will automatically be linked to that individual guest. So you're not going to have to do any extra steps to link your band. There are ways to do that if you get them, online a different way, but this is a really convenient way to do it and have them set and ready and good to go for you. They'll come in a cute little box with each of your names and your magic band in there. So if you're doing a surprise for your kiddos, we did this for Christmas a couple years ago. We actually put the box with their names on the bands in the surprise box on Christmas morning. They opened it up, and it was part of their announcement gift that we were going to Disney. So that's how you go about finding them if you are having an upcoming trip and an upcoming stay at Walt Disney World. Now I want to talk a little bit more about what is included, what do they do for you, why is a magic band something that you want to consider for your upcoming stay. So let me kind of break it down. First, you are able to tap into the theme parks. This is basically where your tickets are going to be stored, information about your resort. So if you walk up to the front and you want to go ahead and tap in, you just tap your magic band, press your finger down to get your fingerprint there, and you're good to go. Everything that is linked to your name and your account will be tracked on that magic band as long as they're linked properly. So really nice, convenient thing, kind of expedites the process as you're walking through park entry, no matter what park you're going to. It also, as I mentioned before, will unlock your door if you're staying on Disney World property. So if you're staying in a Walt Disney World resort, you can just tap that in to get into your room. Really convenient also to get into public or private areas for resort guests, things like the pool, the laundry, different facilities that you have. You're going to be able to just tap in to get in there. You'll also be able to charge purchases to your magic band if you're shopping in the parks or around the area. So on our last trip, my husband, I kind of sent him out one night when we were in the resort and the kids were kind of crashing at the end of the day. I said, grab us some drinks or something, or maybe some snacks. So he went to the resort store, the gift shop, and he actually just charged everything to his magic band. So what that will do is that will charge to the card that you have on file connected to your My Disney Experience account. So whatever card you're using to pay for your vacation, to pay for things like your lightning lanes, any purchases that you make through your mobile app, that will link directly to your magic band, so you can go ahead and pay for your purchases that way too. There's also some really cool enchanted interactions, is what they call them, around the parks. And what that means is you can walk through the parks. So my daughter kind of picked up on this in our last trip. And if you see these beautiful gold statues around the different parks, you might be walking by and you'll feel your magic band kind of buzz on your wrist. And what that's indicating is that you are near to something that has an interactive element with your magic band. If you remember from the 50th anniversary at Walt Disney World, they put these beautiful gold statues up all around the parks and they interact with you with your magic band. So if you do things like stand in a certain area and wave your hand, if that magic band is on your hand, that statue will actually sing or talk or do some sort of interactive moment with you. This became kind of a big deal for my 7-year-old on our last trip. She was constantly like, I felt the buzz. Did you feel it? Where do we go? Where is it? And she's looking around for all those special little hidden details. So if you have kids, I think it's a really fun way to keep them really engaged as they're walking through the parks, kind of forgetting about the fact that they're putting in a lot of steps and a lot of miles. And it's really fun to see what the different characters on those statues in different areas are going to do when you get close by. This also will link your PhotoPass passes. So I'm always a fan of Memory Maker as a mom. I'm the one always taking the pictures. And so if I don't have Memory Maker and the PhotoPass photographers taking my photos, I would probably never be any pictures of all of us from our trips together. So if you walk up to a PhotoPass spot, PhotoPass professional photographer, and you scan your magic band, that's how all of your pictures are also going to be captured in your My Disney Experience app for all those photos that you can take home with you. These are also waterproof, which I think is important to know. They are pool proof, so you can go to the pool, go to the water parks. They do have a rechargeable battery that comes with them. Now, one thing I do want to acknowledge is they can fall off. They're not super clippy the way that like a, Apple Watch band might be. So there are some really inexpensive little grippy watch band holders that you can find on Amazon, and I recommend them to everyone that I know. But you can slide them right onto your magic band, so that way if they get loose, especially if you've got kids that are moving around a ton, or if they're in the pool, it won't fall off. So those little grippy magic band holders, what I call them, those are definitely worth getting and having for your trip. So I think for $34.99, knowing that you can use them year over year, trip over trip, they're connected with you, they're staying with you. There's a lot of fun to be had, a lot of convenience to be had. So if you have been on the fence about it, I say give it a try. I'm a huge fan of a magic band. I probably save a lot of battery life not having to constantly pull my phone out for everything or digging around for my credit card when I'm going to make a snack purchase in the parks. I just am able to tap and it's all there. And at the end of my trip, I have that nice kind of documented receipt too of everything that I spent while I was there, which I like for my own records. So that's my tips on Magic Band Plus, what it is, how to find it, why I think it's worth the purchase. If you have any questions you have about Magic Band or anything that you love specifically about yours, drop them in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along for more great Disney action. Thanks.